dominate the night.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for joining me as always. Today, I would like to share with you something special. I've had the wonderful opportunity to come out here for several years and discuss some really great flashlights with you guys. From basic, inexpensive production flashlights all the way up to insanely expensive $2,000 and $3,000 customs. Today, I get the wonderful opportunity to talk about another custom, which I don't get to do very often. This light is from Yellowday Energy, and the owner, Chris, has sent this out to me from Canada to let me review it. And I hope you guys enjoy this because I think this is a rather special light. Now, you might be wondering, hey, didn't he already review a Yellowday Energy NFR-Z? Yes, I have, but there are two distinctly different versions. Before you get into finishes and materials and things like that, the first determination you have to make when ordering is, do I want a trip or do I want a single emitter? And the review I did prior was on the single emitter version, which is going to give you a little bit more throw, because here you're working with a TIR lens and you're not dealing with a long, shiny reflector. So this is going to be much more about flood. Now, you're not going to get much throw out of this. That's not what it's intended for, but I feel that this light does give you a good all-around, everyday usable beam. Let's talk about Chris just for a couple of minutes and the founding of his brand, and then we'll get into the specific review on this light. Now, he started Yellowday back in 2000, so yeah, it's been 25 years. That's crazy. He started it as an internet advertising company and ended up later on selling the main programming, but always kept the name. Then around 2008, he became an electrician, and then he added the energy to the whole Yellowday portion. And then fast forward to 2016, he was unfortunately in a bad car accident and spent 2.5 years in physical therapy and working with a chiropractor, and had to relearn how to walk again. Now, while he was hurt, a good friend of his would come into town and he would bring this little fidget toy with him. It was the first fidget spinner that Chris had ever come across and ever seen in real life. And that's when he decided, I'm going to make EDC items, whether it be little cool fidgets or other things, you know, pocket vomit, stuff that we all carry around in our pockets for various different uses. He kept the name Yellowday Energy because he always liked the name and he'd already owned it for so many years. He didn't want to have to re-register and change into a whole new name. That's where the brand comes from. He has designed and sold over 235 different items in countries all around the world, from clothing to flashlights, beads, fidgets, knives, bottle openers, nucks, keychains, patches, and more. So what ended up being probably the worst time in his entire life turned into the most pivotal part of his life and created everything that you see coming out of his mind and out of his shop today. Now, this in particular is the NFR-Z and is part of the Wreck-It line. This is the what he calls the Whirly Bird edition, which I think is pretty cool. And this particular finish, what I was going to review, what I had requested from him, was the full mirror polished titanium version. Because I had seen him post it and I went, oh my God, that is so perfectly polished. It looks amazing. And then a few days later, he had posted either images or video of this entropic finish. And I went, "Hell, that's pretty cool finish too." So he ended up sending me this one because it really is an exotic finish. When you look at it, I want to say from a distance, but not even from a distance, you can even get kind of up close with it. And you would think this is Mokutai or Timascus until you look for the pattern, and then you see the pattern is not a twist pattern or a ladder pattern or anything that would be done during a forging process. It's a very random, kind of like a lightning bolt pattern. And that's exactly what the entropic finish is meant to replicate. And it looks really, really good. So this light began life as a fully mirror polished light that he then did the entropic finish to, and it looks fantastic. Now, what you've got here is 1,650 lumens worth of power. It is all 100% titanium. You've got a custom clicky cover. Your emitters are 5000K Samsung LEDs. You've got a sapphire lens over it and a fully programmable H17FX driver, custom-made pocket clip. Everything on this is high-end. And like I said before, I've had the wonderful opportunity to bring out a lot of different kinds of lights because I personally have a varied interest in lights. I love my super ridiculously powerful, uber affordable production lights, but I also like my customs and my semi-customs. Semi-customs like the MSR here, which is one of my absolute favorite lights. Semi-custom from Raylight, which I absolutely love, my Land Apple. And full customs like this. So sometimes those customs get out of hand, wild, and crazy. And you guys know the Cylon, I'm sure by now. If you've followed my channel long enough, you know about that. And there's all kinds of price ranges here. The MSRs, even though they are custom configured, they're not custom made. You order it and configure it yourself when you order it. And man, they're not expensive. I think this was like $50 with the shipping from overseas. So not expensive at all, but super crazy, powerful, lots of great options, great driver in there, great emitters, super fantastic. The Raylight, same thing. Ray offers a lot of different ways that you can configure. Well, you don't really configure. He just offers many different executions and styles of his lights, and you can choose from those. You can't say, well, I want to interchange that button with this and do that and change my finish. You don't get to do all that. But there are custom configurations that he makes. And then you have full customs, which are insanely expensive. For example, this beauty right here. It's very plain, very simple. However, this is a $500 light. This little 14500 powered light in plain bead blasted titanium is $500, and you'll wait a while to get your hands on it. For those that don't know, this is the Mini Arc, and I absolutely love it. I've really become a big fan of the smaller 14500 size lights. I really, really like them. For those newer to lights, 14500 is the rechargeable cell replacement for AA battery. And then you have Insanity like this, which is over $1,000. It's big, it's chunky, it's hefty, but oh yeah, it's fantastic. And again, that's full custom. Now, you get into this, it is a premium price, but they're not insane. You're not spending $1,500 for this like you would expect from most other makers. One thing that I really like about Yellowday Energy is they're not trying to be something more exclusive just to jack up the prices. There are plenty, and I don't want to name any names for examples, but there are plenty of custom lights out there that they very specifically only make very small runs and very infrequently, so that the demand is always cranked up to 11. They're guaranteed to sell out as soon as they release them, and their secondary market is very excitable. There are lights out there that the light is $600, but you'll never spend less than $1,000 because of that way of doing business. And that's fine. That's capitalism, baby. There's nothing wrong with that. But as a consumer, as the collector, it can be somewhat mentally draining, or at least taxing, because there are just times, while we normally have no problem ordering something and waiting, there are just times that you feel like buying something and you just want to buy it and get it. And think about it this way. For normies, normal people who buy normal things that are not collectors, you generally have two options, right? You can order something online, let's say from Amazon, or you can drive down to the store, let's say Target, and buy that same item or similar item and get it that day. And sometimes the impulsiveness or the desperate need for something takes over, and you're like, screw it, I don't even want to wait till tomorrow to get it from Amazon. I'm going to drive up to Target right now and I'm going to go buy that thing. That's a lot how I look at Chris's work. I can drool over the amazing, rare one-offs and custom jobs that he does when he photographs them and shows them and go, wow, I really want one of those. And I can choose to shoot him a message and order one. Or I can wait for a drop, or wait for one of his many dealers to stock a particular light. So there are plenty of times that I could log on, go to one of his dealers, and see this light sitting up there for sale. Maybe over at bladeandbeam.com. That's a great place to go. Chris has been working with bladeandbeam.com for a while. So there are a lot of times that you can log onto their website and find one of his lights sitting there just waiting for you. You could pull the trigger on it, and you're not waiting weeks or months for a full custom to be made just for you. But you're getting the same level of quality. You're getting this insane light without having to custom order it. I love the way that he's done this, where the body is one diameter and then it flares out a little bit larger on the head. It feels really good in the hand. It's very intuitive. I know which way the light is facing when I pick it up. If I pick it up off of the side table in the middle of the night, I know which way it's oriented. And I love the fact that it's got a good amount of power to it. Now, again, you're dealing only in lumens here. We're not talking about the actual focused beam of light. We're not talking about candela here, because it really doesn't apply. This is a floodlight, not a spotlight. So these two are going to perform significantly differently. Why is that? Because I have three shallow set emitters here, and I have one emitter set way down deep in here with a long reflector where the light is bouncing off the reflector and throwing it in a focused beam almost straight out, and not just letting the light scatter in random directions. And that's why a lot of people end up getting a light and becoming unhappy with it when it arrives, because they read these astronomical numbers on lumens and realize that a lot of brands lie about the amount of lumens that you're actually getting anyway. But they'll see this huge number, like in this case, 1,650 lumens. That is nothing to shake your head at. But it's scattering light. So a lot of that is lost in these random directions. It's not all going in one direction. So what you're going to get is something that's super bright up close and all of the surrounding area around you. This is the light you're going to use when you're out walking around in the woods, or you're out walking the dog at night in the neighborhood, or whatever you're doing, to light up the path around you. You got a spot here, so you've got that intense light here, but as you back away, the more distance you've got, the softer it gets, and you'll see that it's a very, very even light pattern. And there's no distinct cutoff like you would get here with a single emitter. Here's your spot, here's your spill, and then there is a dramatic cutoff. You can see the edge of the beam here. Not so the case here. It just gently goes off into the dark. So that's your big difference there. Now, what I want to do is take this outside and see how it performs. I'm curious myself because, like I said, the only experience I have with the NFR-Z is the single emitter. Now to get to play with the triple, which is much more useful for me as an EDC light than the single emitter is, to the point where I'm kind of falling in love with this damn light, and I may end up emailing Chris and making him an offer on it and not shipping it back to Canada. I don't know. It's my mind isn't fully made up on it yet, but I love the finish. I love how it feels. The machining, when you feel the smoothness in the threading, and that is, by the way, quite a trick, because titanium does not like to be threaded together. It tends to feel really gritty and can seize up very, very easily. This is nice and smooth. And that's something that you want to feel when you're looking at a high-end, high-quality light. It's little things like that that determine the high-end makers from the middle-of-the-road makers. The guys that are really, really good machinists are going to have these beautiful, fine, clean threads that are going to feel wonderful as you're opening and closing it. Because you're going to be doing that a lot. Every time you want to charge that battery, you've got to open this up, pop the battery out, and charge it. So let's get this outside and see how it performs. Let's see if it's anywhere near as impressive as it looks and feels.
Please like and subscribe.
Man, even in the dark, this thing is beautiful. Now, let's see how this triple actually works. By the way, I just realized there is a glow gasket in there. Not sure if I realized that earlier when I was doing the review, but I've noticed it now. I like having a glow-in-the-dark gasket. All right. Let's see what she does. This is as high as it goes, but look at the light output. Now remember, this is a teeny, tiny little light. You've got a wonderful output of light. Being a triple, it's going to be all flood. You're not going to get a lot of throw, but in my opinion, for a light this size, for a triple emitter that's made for flood, I think it's projecting a good amount of light out there. But you'll notice it's a very soft hot spot. It's all very, very smooth from edge to edge. I know it's difficult sometimes to justify the cost of a custom light because you go out there and go, well, for a third of the price or a fifth of the price or sometimes a tenth of the price, I can have something that performs far greater. And if that's all you're looking for is just performance, then you're absolutely correct. If you're looking for a product that will give you longevity, I would much rather have a titanium flashlight than an anodized aluminum flashlight, because it is going to last pretty much forever. Seeing up into the canopy of the trees over my driveway. This is great. I can see all kinds of detail in there. Good job, Chris. I like this light a lot. Now, keep in mind with the Yellowdays, in many cases, you can choose either a single emitter, which will have a reflector, which means you're going to get more throw, or a triple like this with a TIR optic, and I believe this one's frosted. I don't really remember right now. My apologies. And that's going to soften everything. It's going to diffuse everything and make it pure flood. Now, I just kicked down from the 1650 to its high mode, and it's going to stay there for a while. I think it's a fantastic little light. No matter how many high-performance lights I have, I still feel a mad pull for custom lights. And it's not because I want to just piss money away. I'd rather not spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on a single light, of course, but when you put this in your hand and you feel it, and you look at all the finish work, and you realize you've got something special. You've got something different that most other people will never have the opportunity to own. And I absolutely love that. Here's your half presses to get through the modes. Solid on. Boy, I gotta wash my truck. Beautiful, classy, cool, compact, and powerful. Which way would you go? Would you rather have a stupid high performance, crazy stupid high performance light for $60 to $100, or something special and custom that you're not likely going to see someone else pull out of their pocket for this price? And that's entirely up to you. And I have to leave it at that because I myself have a hard time choosing from time to time. There are times that I will buy up a bunch of lower priced but high performance lights and be super happy. But then there are times I go, ew, it's just like all the other ones. It's just black anodized aluminum. They're all the same shape. They're all the same look, basically. And then you pick up something like this in your hand and go, wow. Now I remember why I'm addicted to flashlights. It's lights like this. It's lights like the Henko. It's lights like the McGizmos. These things truly are special. And if you can afford it, then why not do it? If you can't, don't put yourself in the poorhouse, because you can get a better performing light like what I have in my hand right here. This is 3,000 lumens for, I don't know, $100. I forgot what it costs. And I could do stuff like this that unfortunately this absolute beauty can't do. But that's okay, because that's not really my intention when I look at a light like this. So only you can decide that for yourself. And I hope I haven't made it more confusing and more difficult for you. If I have, let me know down below. If I haven't, if I made it a little bit easier, then please let me know that as well. I'll see you guys on the next video.